This course is about Python programming, the basics of Python programming. It's a very short course. I think this first part, I divided it into two, the first part and the second part. The first part is just the basics of Python. Then the second part uh, is where now I'll begin with advanced Python. If you'll still be interested, you can join me. But in the meantime, we'll start with introduction to basic Python. Uh, so Python is a very easy language. Python is very easy, very simple. The syntax is very simple. Uh, Same when you want to when you want to write when you want to print something on console in Python, you just write print, very straightforward. Print, let's say hello world, hello world. That's it. And then shift F10. You see, this is the output down here. If you're using, I'm guessing all of us will be using, for this course, we'll be using Python. Editor will be Python for this. If you want to print something on your console, it's the basic syntax. Print hello world. That's all you need to do. Um, so what is Python, first of all? Um, What is Python? For Python, we're not talking about Python the snake or Python one. We're talking about Python, the programming language. It's a very famous programming language built by even what? Bassi. Name is quite hard. So yeah, Python is a high-level programming language that uses instructions to teach the computer how to perform a task. This is what a basic programming language does. Programming language teaches a computer what to do by giving it instructions. So you can say a computer is generally stupid or dumb. You can say a computer is just dumb, but giving it instructions is what makes it a computer at the end of the day. So Python is an easy to learn, powerful programming language, a language which is closer to the human language. Human language, you're talking about natural languages like Swahili, English. It's very close to it. As you know, computers only understand one type of language. That is low-level language or machine language, which is made up of zeros and ones. But Python is a high-level language. Python is a high-level language which helps us give the computer instructions. Then the instructions are interpreted into machine language so that the computer can understand by the Python interpreter. So a language which is closer to the human language like English, human language and natural language, as I said. Okay, this I will be going for. I think this first part will take very few days, but by that time I'm sure all of you will be now understand what I will be teaching, what I will be also taught. So Python provides an easy approach to object-oriented programming. Some object-oriented programming languages, if you know of C++, is an object-oriented programming language. Which else? What else? Ruby or Ruby, depends on how you're taught. It's also an object programming language, an object-oriented programming language. There's so many object-oriented, but the best languages are, yeah, object-oriented programming language. I mean, what we mean is they focus on the object. Like a human, let's say you are building an, okay, let's say you're building a project or a program. So your main focus will be the object. In our case, let's say you're building an object that makes a player run in the game, in a game, or depends whatever. You'll focus on the human, or the human, but you'll make him an object in your project, in your program. So you have to come up with the characteristics like, let's say a human can move, he can jump, he can fall down, then you start making your coding your project from there. It's easy as that. Let's move on. Python provides an easy approach to object-oriented programming. Object-oriented is an approach used to write programs. Python is free and open source. Okay. Python is not sold. I don't think there's anywhere where they sell Python. Python is free. It's open source. You can access the code that you are used to build Python, and you can make them better. You can edit them. That's why I think that's the reason why it's very popular right now, because over the years it has adapted, it has changed. People edit the code and make it better. Wanafanya inakuwa poa. That's why it's among the best programming languages. You can read, yeah. That's what they mean by open source. You can read, modify, and distribute the source code of Python. It was developed by Guido von Rosen. Was released in 1991. Python, this guy just Guido von Rosen created Python as a hobby. Then he named Python after a show. It was a Monty Python show. It was a circus back in the early 19s. It was a show, a circus show on TV, so people go and pay and watch them. So he named it, he really loved the show, so he named Python after the show. So Python is not named after a snake or anything, it's named after a circus show. It's the early 19s. So let's get on, we learn about object-oriented. Next, there's a question. Who developed Python? Through our course, I'll be asking these short questions. And I'll be expecting some answers of participants in the chat section. Just here, type your chat. Then we continue after you have answered. Then I tell you the correct answer. Then we continue. Like, who developed Python? Just seen our Python developer is Guido. So Guido van Rosen is the correct answer. So where is Python used? Python is applied in many areas. I'm sure you're using a phone right now, or a laptop, or whatever you're using. On your laptop with the browser, maybe, let's say Chrome, even maybe this Zoom application, most of them are built using Python. And Python finds its application in various domains. Specific scenarios where it's used, web applications. Web applications, you're talking about Chrome, Mozilla, Internet Explorer. Those are some of the web applications that Python may have built. Then what else? Now Python is used in games. I'm sure you're finding that this is very easy because it's just one slide. Like, okay, if you're writing, you can tell me, I give you time. Because these notes are very easy. You can just take like a second to write whatever is on the screen, which should be very nice. You can use the notes later, but if you also want the notes, I can send them later. So Python is used in game development. Some games which were made. Anyway, let's continue. So that was just a brief thing, or a brief. Let's continue where Python is applied. Python is also used to create desktop applications. Desktop, I'm sure you know some desktop applications. If you don't know, just open your computer and just look at your desktop. On your computer, just press the home, the Windows button. You'll see some desktop applications, and I'm very sure some of them, if you search, some of them are programmed or are built using Python. Python also find this application in machine learning. Machine learning, what is machine learning? Machine learning and data science. So for those who don't know machine learning, I'm just good for you to me explain it that well. To machine learning meaning. Machine learning is all, it's just teaching teaching a machine to do tasks. Machine can be the arm, the robotic arm in a company or in an industry. So what is machine learning? So machine learning is the use and development of computer systems that are able to learn and adapt without following a strict set instruction by using algorithms. A simple meaning. The capability of a machine to imitate intelligent human behavior. So I just told you, like a robotic arm in an industry takes a product and puts it in another conveyor belt. Even that is what machine learning is. You can build such using Python. So let's move on. How Python works. So we are going to learn how Python works from your code to the output. So let's say you've written something like the print statement. So let's continue. So we want to see how a simple code like this works. The print statement, how does it work? So you have written print, this is the syntax. This is the syntax, the basic syntax. Python does not have many, like, you don't know. Let's say if it were C++, don't know, you write hashtag include, string count, whatever. No, Python, you just start. The minute you open your IDE or your text editor, you just start writing from from the first line. You just start writing, start coding. Print hello world, Evo. Okay, Sarge. Okay. Yeah. So this is the simple syntax of a Python print program. This will just print on your console. Hello world. So let's see how it works. So first of all, first we write instructions in English-based Python language. So as I've said, Python is close to English. Python is close to English. So you first write your instruction. So your instruction will be print. This print, okay, print is a function. I will teach you about function later, but just know print is a function. So function, any function has arguments. So you have to input your argument into the function. In our case, we have input hello world in double quotes. So the computer just knows, as long as it's in double quotes, this is a string. We learn about different types of data later on, but this is the basic syntax, and that's how it works. First of all, you write your command, your instruction in English, then Python is an interpreted language, so there is no need for compiling them. After you write, you run your code. It will be interpreted. Python is not compiled, it's interpreted, or it's also called a scripted language. So you run your code, the green tab, press it, then this is the output. So Python took your command, instruction, print, then it required to analyze the arguments in the parentheses. So you are telling it to print hello world. That's what it does. Anyway, you don't understand, just inform me. I will make sure you understand. Python programs run directly through source code. The source code is converted into intermediate bytecode and then into the native language of computer internally by Python interpreter. So this is what the Python interpreter does. It converts the source code into bytecode and then into the native language of the computer. This all happens inside the interpreter. So first it's converted into intermediate bytecode and then the bytecode changed into the native language of the computer, which is machine language, which the computer understands. The code is executed and the output is invented. So after the computer has understood, it's now it carries out the instructions which you have executed. So we write instructions in English-based. We write instructions in English-based Python language. True or false? Just send your answer on the chat section. True or false? And Sami, true. Casey, true. Maria, Anita, waiting for your answer. True, yeah, so the answer is true. We write instructions in English-based Python language. Python is very close to English, so we write instructions in English-based Python language. Which of the following is not a feature of Python? Which of the following is not a feature of Python? Which of the following is not a feature of Python? Which of the following is not a feature of Python? Is it free and open source, compiled language, which is not? Is not. Daisy wrote compiled. Yeah, that's true. Python is not a compiled language. Python, we have said, is an interpreted language. It's free and open source. It's object-oriented, but it's not a compiled language. Compiled language is C++ and others. So first Python program. Just told you our first Python program is just one line of code. That's all it takes. Very easy, very simple. So what is a program first of all? Don't just dive in, you must know what is a program. So a program is a set of instructions that tells the computer to perform a specific task. So when you're writing a program, you're telling the computer what to do. So without programs, our computer will just be obsolete, like just be empty. So if you go into your computer, you check there are certain programs and processes which help the computer run. So you see, even the question here is there anything you can do on your own? So the computer cannot do anything on its own without programs or instructions. So a program is a set of instructions that tells the computer to perform a specific task. A programming language is the language used to create programs. For you to give something instructions, even for me to tell you write down something, we must have a language that all of us understand each other with. So before even you tell the computer what to do, you must be able to talk to it in a language that it understands. So even if it does not understand that language, there is someone there who can interpret, in our case, interpret what you're saying to Python or to the computer, sorry. So in this course, we'll be using Python to give instructions to the computer. This means I can make my computer do anything. Yeah, true. With instructions and programs, you can make your computer do anything. You can write, let's say, what you can find. Programs are just modern solutions to problems, to modern problems. Like, let's say a calculator, you have a problem of, you can't remember 2 times 3, but when you write it down, you'll just find it there. That's a modern solution. Instead of you remembering every time what is 2 times 3, there is something else that helps you, that keeps the memory, you see. So that's a modern solution to a modern problem. So if you have a problem, just sit down, think logically how you can go about the problem and write it down, convert it into instructions, and you can be the next millionaire. You can create your own Facebook, you can create your own watch, those watches that can calculate your heartbeat, I'm sure you know them. And any other thing, you can also create your own software just by sitting down, thinking of a problem and coming up with a solution. Easy as that. As long as you can think logically, you can solve anything. So this means I can make my computer do anything. True. Everything involves giving instructions. So if you can turn your problems into instructions and write them down, you can have your own program or application within no time. For example, when you click on the play button on a media player and the music starts playing, there's already a program. There's a program working behind the scene which tells the computer to turn on the music when the play button is clicked. So letu nasema, if you have any issue, any problem, just write it down. The first step is, many people solve problems by playing. Playing will not solve anything. Sit down, sorry. Sit down, write it down, come up with a solution. The same thing to programs when writing programs. It all starts with writing something down. Easy as that. So a question, which of these you think might have involved the use of programs? So sending Gravity rover to Mars, which of these, I'll repeat the question, which of these do you think might have involved the use of programs? Sending Gravity with rover to Mars, I'm sure you know the rover which operates in Mars. Automatic location detection by your phone, escalators, or Jarvis. It's a multiple choice question. You can pick any, if not all, of the choices given. Sending Gravity rover to Mars. Escalators, true. Era said escalators, true. Escalators involve the use of programs for it to write, because there's no one controlling it. It has to go up and around like that. Yeah. There has to be a program controlling it. Then there is a time when something is jammed, you can tell the escalator to stop or to start, or can control the speed. That is all written in a program. Then Anita and Tracy wrote said B, which is automatic location detection by your phone. Through that, automatic location detection by your phone, that is a program which uses GPS of the satellite for location services, which is true. Also sending Gravity rover to Mars. So Jarvis is a robot or an AI. AIs are built using programs and instructions. To write a simple AI, you can go and try it. If you know, we'll learn about this later on, but if and else statements, you can use if and else statements to just build a basic AI or a simple AI. You can tell it, if I wake up, ring the alarm. Yeah, you can just come up with your own instructions and give it, but you can use if and else to create a very simple AI of your choice. Then we go to the next topic, which is writing our first program. writing our first program. In no mood to break traditions and rituals, so many programming language we just start with the hello world. Hello world this, hello world there, yeah. So no exception for Python, we'll just start with the basic hello world. So in no mood to break traditions and rituals followed through the years, let's start with the hello world program, usually the first program here. We want to display hello world on the output screen. How? So how is the answer? Just use the print statements or the print function. Functions, whenever you see in Python something written, then at the end there is brackets. Note down that is a function. Function is an instruction that can or cannot, that can take arguments or can miss out arguments, but it has this parenthesis. You can create your own functions in Python. Also, this function, which is the print function, is a pre-built, so there are very many codes written just for this specific line, specific word. Okay, we'll start. To tell the computer to write on the screen, we use the print statement. This is the syntax of the print statement. Print brackets. It's actually a function. It's supposed to be the print function. It is not a statement. We learn about statements, functions. Functions are also called methods. Through the course, you can note them down. Vocabularies will be passing through them. It's almost up. It is a built-in function in Python to display things on the screen. So there is one of the functions, the print function. What does every function has like it has what it does. So like in our case, print function, it displays things on the screen. Then there's another function called input function, which takes the user's input, like when you want someone to write, okay, the user to write into your program. Is the input function. We'll learn about more function, but in the meantime, this print function is used to display things on the screen. A built-in function is a function which is predefined and can be used directly. So they are built-in, there is a defined function. These are built-in. It's inside Python. User-defined functions, you create them by yourself. You create the functions by yourself. So built-in function is a function which is predefined and can be used directly. It's like exactly like butter which your mom uses to prepare pancake. So there are some questions here. Okay. We are not yet so whatever we want to display needs to be written inside brackets and enclosed within double quotes. So the minute you write this, the print function, this whatever you're written inside the parentheses and brackets, they are called arguments. The print function takes strings as its arguments. String is a collection of words or a single word or numbers, anything, any textual data. Yeah, that's what a string is. So the print is a function that takes its arguments as strings. So print hello world is the syntax of printing something on a screen. The output will be hello world. So I'm just going to do it. So that's what they mean. Print, you see, when you write in your code editor, your PyCharm, you need to just write print and you press tab. It will first write it, the bracket, the print and the brackets, the parentheses, just like that. Already you know that's a function. So the function in our case, which is print, our function is print, takes arguments. Arguments in our case is a string. So you want to write hello world. You put the double quotes. You can use double or single. In our case, For now, we'll be using double quotes. So you write print double quotes, then you write hello world as the arguments. Just like that. Nothing else is needed. Sorry. Nothing else is needed. That's already a program to print hello world. Then you press on your screen, you press the upper part, the green play button. It will print on your console hello world. So that's what we mean. And that's what I also mean. I've just said print is a function and it takes arguments. The arguments in our case is a string, which is hello world. We learn about strings, integers, and what floats later on. So you just wrote your first Python program, you can try it